Hey guys, we're back in the shed once again. Today is going to be a different one. We're going to have a special guest, Mick from Nomad Fuel Tanks, dropping into the shed with us. We're going to install the 20-litre Nomad fuel tank on the CRF450 behind me. Mick has been producing and designing these tanks for a number of years for the CRF, so he's going to show us how to fit it the right way. So yeah, before we start taking things apart, Mick, do you want to just talk to us about the tank and the features of the 20 litres?
Yep. One of the big things having radiators is protection for them. The tank as part of the protection for the radiators.
Yep.
And
which we were just talking off camera before,
yep.
And that being like a unique feature of your tanks, having built-in radiator protection. Yep. Quite often that's a separate aftermarket product that people have to source to solve that issue, whereas
that's right.
This is completely all built in.
Yeah, yeah, part of the tank.
Yeah.
It's part of the mounting for the tank.
The radiator guards, if you've already got some, it's not an optional extra. It's not an accessory on top of the tank. It's part of the
mounting.
Yes, yeah. Cool.
They stop the tank moving in and out.
Yep.
And if you drop your bike on rocks, it transfers the impact through to the centre frame.
Yeah.
And stops the tank pushing in and squashing your radiators. And it's also gives a bit of rigidity holding the tank still and like takes a bit of the stress off the front mount.
Yep. Yeah, because none of those mounts are meant to take the weight of that tank in isolation.
No.
Yeah.
In a crash situation, of course, you know, it's going to get impacts in all sorts of directions and it needs every bit of help it can get to hold it on.
So really just different size sockets, spanners, a few Allen keys, and a couple of pairs of pliers. So no specialist gear required. So when it comes to the clear tanks and the solid black tanks, which sort of do you see go out the door more?
It's about 50-50.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really surprised by that.
Yeah.
I guess aesthetically people like to see the black tank, like if they want it to match their sticker kit or what have you.
Yeah.
But for practical purposes, yeah, I'm a big fan of the clear tank.
Yeah. Yeah, so the breather's got to come off the tank. Let's pull that off to be able to get that off.
With the plastics removed, you can just really see how small that tank is, can't you? There's not a lot there. I bet if it looked like that in the showroom, people would scratch their heads a bit as far as the fuel capacity goes.
Yep. Now we've got to we've got a plastic cover that goes on there. Just pull that straight down. And then you'll see a green part there. It's got a hook on either end side of it.
Yep.
You pull that down till it clicks, and then the fuel line's right to come off. So you've got to take the fuel line that way.
Yep.
Around the other side to take the electrical connector off. Now we've got the wires connected to the tank here, so a pair of pliers to squeeze it together and push it through. That's it. And the connector itself, as you pull that rubber boot back, then you've got that's off, like that.
Yep.
And that's the tank away. You've got a spacer and a spring washer.
Yep.
Just keep them together. Most of them are open bolts, but this one's a capped nut for that side. And I think it's because the wire goes past there. It doesn't look sharp, it's real. Now, just be careful, you've got to tip the pump to get through. It's worth putting a bit of plastic over that to stop dust getting in. We've got to get rid of this tab. That's got to go because in forming the plastic part, it's too hard to make space for that. Its only purpose is to be able to handle that dust seal, but it's not really necessary. So just trim that back like so.
Ah, easy.
And it's a different setup to your titanium standard tank. Supply these bolts for your pump. Okay. Now that surface is all nice and smooth, so that, and it tapers in so the O-ring feeds into it. It's got a little ledge there, but the O-ring actually stops before that. A little bit of silicone grease or rubber grease or anything like that. All good. Now, you'll see there's a bit of pressure on it to push it in. It can only go one way. It's got a locator there. Just firm with those is fine. It's not the sort of thing that rattle out.
You obviously just wouldn't go crazy on it.
No. You won't rip those nutserts out. They're seriously moulded in there. Just plastic shavings from machining the necks out.
Yep.
The hole out there. In the process of machining those holes out, creates static electricity. So the plastic shavings want to stay there. So I actually blow them out 4 or 5 times. Like, as you saw, there wasn't much come out.
Yeah.
But we'll give it a swish out anyway. Giving it a bit of a swish around. You'll be able to see we've actually done pretty well. In the process of blowing it out, pretty well 99% of the fines will have come out. It's only the odd bigger piece. And well,
Did we collect any?
there's probably 2. So
Yeah, right.
all good. Couple of dowels in there. Just close out. One there. This one has, you've got a mount for the wire for the horn. We've actually got to take the horn off. So we've got mountings on the radiator guard for the horn.
Oh, right.
So it sits in the same position. Now keep that bolt in there. And that's the horn bracket off. So we've got to take this part. This piece here is redundant. It actually mounts like so. That just locates through that hole there.
So are the left and right radiator guards drastically different?
Yes.
They're quite a bit different, aren't they?
Yeah. One's the right hand side's shorter because of the exhaust.
So you're not going to get those two mixed up?
No. I'll have that. Right.
So which part of the factory bracket did we discard of? So we removed? Just that section
That
there.
part there,
So we don't need that anymore.
no.
So the bolts you used to hold in that radiator guard on that side, and when you
Standard
removed here,
bolts.
they're just standard bolts for the radiator support.
Yep. That's your front bracket. Hose clamp just holds it in place. It wraps around the frame, and once the hose clamps around it, it's pretty solid on there. A bit of you. It's usually good to be able to swing the mudguard out of the way.
Try and pull it out of the way.
We're going to have to. Yeah.
So assembly tip: remove the front mudguard.
Well, you don't have to, but if you can swing it to the side. These two bolts that came out of there. If we get our left hand one started, that sets your height because they're mounted there and there. Your wiring here, we need to pull that in. We need the wiring to be in as far as possible. That'll all relax in place there after a while. Okay. If you find the tank won't sit down properly, we have had it on occasion, only a couple of times, these rubber mounts can be actually in a different spot.
Yeah, right.
So if it won't sit down, I've got recesses in the tank to take those, but if they don't line up with those, it won't sit down properly.
Yeah.
So what you can do is just put a bit of grease on them, sit the tank on, and it'll show you where it's sitting on the tank.
Yep.
And it'll show you if you need to move one.
So these look maybe a little bit high.
Possibly. Yes, definitely. You can see the recess back here.
Yep.
We'll have to move that back. I don't know why they need to glue on so well. Anyway. Just a bit of preparation. We'll take these off. These are the mount bolts for the radiator guards. Put a bit of lube on the fuel outlet, just to make sure it slides on nicely. So we need to hook the fuel line on and the power line. That's it. And push the green thing in, that's locked in.
Yep.
Now, just make sure that rubber boot is sitting out where it's supposed to be. That way.
I mean, there's good visibility on this side,
That's
but
it.
once you jam your hand in there.
Yeah. So the rubber boot's got little holes in it that which hook in on the sides. Put him into that bracket and then just push him onto the clips, and that's that. These two bolts here are our rear bracket bolts. Now it's good to have a longer ball end 4mm Allen key. Get these ones started first, and you can see to line it up down through here. So if ever you have these brackets off, before you try and put it on, make sure those holes are at 153 centres.
So a good practice just to check these two tabs when you're sitting the tank down before you go to fix it. Make sure they're not turned underneath.
153 centres.
Yep. What's that in inches?
No idea. We'll leave them loose and get our front bracket started. Yeah, so if it won't line up, just back these out a bit to get it started. Yeah.
That's great. You got good access from the side to at least see what's going on.
Yeah. It's just a matter of lining up the hole up with the slot. Beautiful.
Once you get everything lined up, you can go around then and just tighten everything up as you like. All the finishing touches.
The sump around the fuel pump is about 0.8 of a litre. So we had 1.8, so there's 500 mil either side roughly. And as you can see, as we do that, you saw fuel slosh up here. If the sump was empty, that fuel would have gone to the centre.
Yep. Do that again for us, just an good angle at it. Yeah, there you go. You can see it move around clear as.
And that was just doing that. So if you were to, you're on the road, throttle on, like give it to it, that fuel will travel up here, and as you go back to cruising, it'll go to around the pump.
Well, I know there's a lot of discussion online is, people wondering how it gets around in the tank, but that explains it perfectly.
Yeah.
So we had the original tank off before, and the original tank pretty much just sat up around here, this section here. Obviously it didn't go below the frame, the frame's there. So now you've got all this capacity and weight transfer down lower.
I think 7.5 litres comes to about there. Your centre of gravity is lower. If you're going to put graphics on it, certainly use a thinner to clean, because I put some Armor All on it just to shine them up. So just to clean that off before you try and put graphics on.
No, looks great, Mick. Well done.
Do you want to sit on and just have a feel of it?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, once you got your knees against it too.
I've got you, so.
Yeah. I mean, my knees still flare out wider than the bike.
Put both feet up and...
Actually feels more comfortable. I mean, I'm used to riding a slightly bigger bike anyway.
Yep.
So I actually like having a bit of meat there, I guess.
Yep.
So for me, that actually feels...
It's a bit of protection from ruse.
Yeah. But no, it feels comfy. It feels sort of like gives you something to put your knees on. Because I found with the standard tank, obviously like range and stuff aside.
Your knees are dangling out in the middle.
Yeah, they're just sort of like just this hollow space in front of you because you still have the flare out of the radiator guards. Yeah. But then sort of not much there.
No.
So yeah, it's nowhere near as sort of like intrusive as I thought it would be.
Yep.
It's, shaped really nicely. It instills a lot of confidence, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful.